Temple is a charming and understated station on the District and Circle lines on the Thames Embankment. Sited between Blackfriars and Embankment stations, it's small fry compared to either of those two, but I rather like it. First, let's have a little history. Temple was built by the Metropolitan District Railway in 1870, but not without opposition. For one thing, the new embankment, of which it formed a part, would cut off a number of wharves on the river, and compensation would have to be paid. Who had to pay this, how much fell to the district and how much to the Metropolitan Board of Works, was a fraught issue. The district was, frankly, rather poor. The Board of Works and the Metropolitan Railway were pushing them to hurry up with construction, which really did not help matters. And then there was Temple. Temple was seen as a desirable location for a station, on the edge of the Inns of Court, very near to Aldwych and Fleet Street. But NIMBY was a thing even then, and the Duke of Norfolk, who owned the land the station was to be built on, was not very keen on the prospect. He insisted on a modest station that wouldn't offend his delicate sensibilities. Fine, said the District Railway, who really weren't in much of a position to negotiate. Oh, but the Duke wasn't the only one who had a problem. Remember I mentioned those Inns of Court? Well, the lawyers there raised objections to noisy trains running so close to their chambers. Remember that at this time the district was run using steam trains. Fine, said the district, and agreed that their locomotives would not sound their whistles in the station. So the station opened. A small and ever so humble station by London standards. So it began and so it remained. In the early 20th century, the Great Northern Piccadilly and Brompton Railway, now the Piccadilly line, considered extending here, but then they decided nah, and stopped at Aldwych instead. Still, it's a pleasant enough station to look at, with a lot of charming features still in situ. I rather like this tube map. It dates back to 1932, the year before Harry Beck's more famous diagrammatic tube map was introduced. And there's this cabman's shelter alongside. And it must be the only station on the entire Underground where you can play ping-pong on the roof. Hi all, hope you enjoyed this worshipful episode of Tales from the Tube. If you did, hitting the like button is a good way of showing it, as is sharing and indeed subscribing. Do you use Temple? Is it a station you pay much heed to? Have you ever lied to tourists and told them the map outside is accurate? Let me know in the comments. And I'll see you soon for another tale from the Tube.